Hello everybody, this is Louisa with LA Paper Studio, and first of all I want to say thank you for all the comments that I've gotten. They're really sweet. They've helped me through this summer. It's been a very challenging summer with a lot of personal, studying for a really hard test and finishing really hard goals. So at times, you just have to keep going, and just those sentiments are really nice. I have definitely missed scrapbooking. Probably is what I miss the most. The whole summer I haven't watched TV. I haven't read any new books. Actually, that's not true. I've read 2 new books. But anyway, I'm back and I have a little reprieve before I have to get back and get really busy again. So during this time I'm going to be working on some scrapbook layouts and some mini albums. Probably not a lot of cards. I've been doing pretty well on the card front, maybe 1 or 2. So and also if you hear some sounds on the background, I'm sorry. I have a new puppy, and he can be a lot of work, so that's also part of why I've been so busy this summer. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is the last page of a scrapbook album I've been working on these pictures were from 2011, so this is how behind I am on my scrapbook. But I really wanted to take the time and do a scrapbook layout from start to finish so that you can definitely see. I know that I promised some money saving tips on another one of my videos, and this is one of my favorite money saving tips when it comes to scrapbook layouts. And I know you've heard me talk about it before, but I normally have it already laid out and done by the time that I'm filming the video, because it's a little bit easier and I can get my head in the way. But I'm going to go ahead and do it on camera now in case you have any questions. And this is, a lot of the times if you're doing a scrapbook layout and it's a 12 by 12 layout, and this is what it's a 1-page layout, a lot of the times you don't want to use an entire 12 by 12 sheet behind it, but you do want the border around it. Basically you're losing all of the space because your pattern paper is going to cover it. So I refuse to spend, unless it's a scrapbook layout I'm doing for someone else and it needs to be sturdy at that point. If it's for my books, it's fine as long as the border shows it's okay with me. So here's what I do. You're going to need an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, which is another great thing. 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper packs are much more economical than the 12 by 12 paper packs. So all you need is an 8.5 by 11. And you're going to cut 4 strips of 4 1-inch strips basically, and letting it go all the way to 11 inches. And then you're going to take 2 of them and corner them like this. So you're going to create your first corner, and you try to make it as straight as possible and flush it up top and flush it here. And then you just grab a piece of tape. This is from Target, so just whatever type of tape, it doesn't really matter. But tape is definitely going to be your friend on this type of method. So, and then you grab the second corner. Now you want to make sure that if this piece of 11-inch is the one that this one completes at 12 inches, then this one's going to start new. So you don't want to add it again here, because then you're going to have 13 inches and that's not going to fit your layout. So you're going to basically do a puzzle, fit the puzzle pieces. And that's the other piece. And as you can see, this one's a little short on this end and this one's a little tall. And that's exactly what you want, so that it completes your square. And now you have a 12 by 12, and you've only used maybe a little bit over a half of an 8.5 by 11. If you're doing a two-page layout, and obviously you want to use the same color, solid color, to go behind for your border, all you need is one 8.5 by 11. So it's a great way of saving paper and nobody else would know. Again, if it's for your personal scrapbooks, albums, and you're not planning on giving it to anyone, I would highly recommend it. It'll save you some money, and nobody's going to go behind and look to see if this is a method that you did. And if they do, well, they shouldn't really be doing that. Okay, and now there you go. Now we have a perfect border, and this piece of scrapbook, this scrapbook paper I got from a Michaels pack. And in fact, I think let me show you the front. Nope, don't have it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep rolling. And basically, I think it's called the All Seasons paper pack, and I love it because it is all seasons. It brings every single month there's a sheet of paper, and there's a really cool step and repeat type of, like if it's January, it says January and all kinds of directions with different fonts, and then like it's themed for the month. So like January has snowflakes, December has Christmas theme, November has Thanksgiving theme. So and then in between it has some more pages. This page I got, I believe, from the April side, and this one I got from the St. Patrick's side. And the reason I use this one is because it was the only green, darker green piece of pattern paper that I had, but it came from the March one from the, like I said, St. Patrick's. So this is the bottom of it, and I really don't like my scrapbook paper to have these kinds of images, so I probably won't end up using it. We'll see though. And this one is cut at 5.5 by 11 and 3/4, and this one is 11 by 3/4 and 11 by 3/4, and as usual the measurements are going to be at the end of the video on a picture. You can pause the video, and if you want to recreate something similar and you want to take a look at what the measurements are. I'm not going to be inking any of my papers around, just because I kind of want to take a look. I haven't done a no inking type of layout in a while, so I kind of want to take a look. And these are my two photo mats. And then I created this college football board because the layout is for some pictures we took when we went to a watch party for my husband and I. We went to the same school for our undergrads. And so we went to a watch party, and so I themed it, I'm theming it as a football field. And I'm going to make it even more realistic in a minute. You'll see how. And then I've also cut, these are from the Silhouette Studio. I cut this jersey, and these are our school colors. I'll probably put some of this over here, and then I'll be putting a journaling tag over here. I just haven't quite figured out which journaling tag I want. And I've done a football layout before. It's just that one was completely themed to our school colors. This one's going to be themed more for a football field, although it still has our school colors, of course. And it's like as you can see, it's pretty simple. I really do like this idea of the board, and it doesn't have a lot of detail, but what will have a lot of detail is the field over here. I'm going to be doing the marks that you normally see in the field, and then I'm going to do some embossing using these numbers. And this stamp set is from Inkadinkado, and it's called, it doesn't have a name. Oh yeah, Somerset Alphabet. It's a Somerset Alphabet. I use it a lot for personalization if you want to use the initials. Use it lots, actually. This is probably one of my favorite stamp sets. And you can get it at Michaels, and probably at Joann's, but you can definitely get it at Michaels. So I'm going to go ahead and put the video on fast forward, and when we get back, we'll have the finished layout. this is the finished layout. I did end up making this tag. I made it by hand. I did think about it when I was cutting with my silhouette, but I really didn't know what was going to fit under here, and I just kind of felt sporadic in the heat of the moment, and so I created this just using some white cardstock and some a corner punch from Fiskars. I don't even know if they make them anymore because, to be honest, I don't even look for them anymore. Just after getting my silhouette, there's really no need for, or not that big of a need. I mean, it's always nice to have some punches, but nothing definitely like the intricacy and the great detail that my silhouette can cut. Plus, I can change the size. So anyway, I don't even really even know if they make them anymore. But that one was the lacy corners, and it brings 3 corners, and I use this corner because it's probably the most sober one of them. The other ones were a little bit too dainty for the theme, which is football. The other thing, I don't know if you noticed, I did struggle a little bit stamping. I didn't realize the numbers were going to be so big, so I didn't even get a chance to stamp the 50-yard mark, yard line mark. But I think even though it definitely looks handmade and it's not your perfect silhouette cut, I think it makes it unique. Hindsight, I would have used a smaller number stamp set, which I do own, another one that's just a little, well, actually a lot smaller. And I would also probably have my silhouette cut the lines, because I do like, if I'm going to make something that's going to look completely professional and finished and no handmade, almost very hardly any handmade details, then I'm going to go completely with a silhouette. But with this layout, I definitely ended up doing a lot more handiwork than with a lot of other layouts. So as usual, the measurements will be at the end of the video on a picture form. That way you know I'm not referencing something, but you actually see the picture and it'll tell you what each piece, the size of each piece. This one, I will tell you the overall size, however, because I made this myself. I just used some fonts that I had downloaded for free, and then I used a tag tub and cut it so that it's not the entire tag, it's just the top. And then I made a square, I made a frame. So I had 2 squares, a larger one and a smaller one, and then I had this part in here. So this was really handmade. I can probably give you, I'll make it into an SVG so you can download it for free at my website if you want to use it on your silhouette or whatever other cutter you have. And other than that, I think this will finish the layout. This is the last page on this album, and I feel like I can finally move on to maybe 2012 or 2013 even, if I'm lucky. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope this inspired you.